Hey folks, Justin Recla here, Incorporating Superpowers. Today's show, I am super excited. The guy that we're having on the show today is one of my favorite people because he just gets it. And we're going to be talking about leveraging risk. And Billy Bray is by far, as far as the insurance world goes, he is top notch when it comes to authenticity, spiritually connected, spiritually driven, and doing things because it's the right thing to do. Billy is also an author. I'm excited to have him on the show today. Billy, I know you got your book just came out, so welcome for being on the show. I know we had you on the last time, but I'm super excited to have you on Incorporating Superpowers. How are you, and what's going on in your world?
Well, thanks a lot for having me back, and I really appreciate that glorious introduction that you gave to me. So, hello everyone. Very proud to be back. Things are good. Life is busy and fun and fulfilling for all the right reasons. And there's challenges in every world in everybody's world. But today, I'm really excited to be able to be on this, especially with the awesome title that you've given to this. So, leveraging superpowers. Hey, I do whatever I can to bring out a need that I may have to help you and your listeners. So
this is going to be a fun show because folks, when I invited Billy back on the show here, we actually had him on In the Clear podcast, and his episode never really aired because we were transitioning over to this new network. So I was like, Billy, you got to come back on the show. He's like, awesome. I got my book coming out. And what I love about his book, and Billy, what's the name of the book?
It's called Buying Commercial Insurance: The Playbook to Save Money and Minimize Risk.
So, folks, go get your copy of that, okay? Because in that book, and this is why I wanted to have Billy on the show, is he calls out the elephant in the room on the insurance industry and what's going on in that. So, Billy, talk to me about it. What is the elephant in the room in the industry that you're seeing? And I know insurance across the board, people are like, oh my God, it's insurance, folks. If you don't have this as part of your portfolio, if you're not putting this into your life, you're not leveraging risk, then you're missing out. And Billy is the guy that you want to go to talk about it. So what is that elephant in the room that you call out, Billy?
Well, thank you. So I always tell people I'm an entrepreneur first. I'm an insurance guy second. Okay. I've got partners that do life insurance, partners that do health insurance. Me personally, I do commercial insurance. And so I've worked at the big top 10 firms, 3 of the top 10 biggest companies, all billion-dollar corporations. And I've seen things from the inside that some of it I like and some of it I really don't like. And so I try to put myself, the reason the name of the book is called Buying Commercial Insurance, because I want to put myself in the buyer's shoes from the other side of the table, so to speak, and say, look, if you're buying insurance, this is your playbook to do it the proper way to essentially not get screwed over by the insurance companies. And that means brokers and carriers alike. So I'm a broker. I've worked for the carriers, and what I see are things that maybe sometimes give insurance people the bad name. You see an insurance guy at the cocktail party, they say, whoop, I've got time to go refill my drink. And sometimes that's the case with other folks as well. But I don't like that because I do like insurance, but I don't like the industry necessarily. And so what I do is within my position, I advocate for you, the buyer, or the person that's running the company or the business, or the person that may not like this. So I say, okay, how do I use the knowledge that I have potentially as a superpower, Justin, to be able to go help these folks that maybe don't like it because they've had a bad experience. Their price keeps going up. There's coverage issues. There's floods and hurricanes and wind and hail and storm damage that doesn't get paid, or it gets partially paid. That's crap. I don't like that. So in my book, what I do is I expose the big bad insurance companies and brokers as well, and share some of the secrets of what to look out for and how not to get taken advantage of. And here's the thing. My clients, they can all have my book. They don't necessarily need to read it because I do all of these things for them. But if you're not one of my clients, or if you know somebody that could stand to benefit from it, this book will kind of show those things, because insurance is expensive. I think we'd all agree. And also, would you agree with me that insurance is complicated? It's not straightforward. It's not a linear scenario. It's really thick, big contracts that are built by attorneys that people don't understand the legalese and the jargon. And so I try to simplify things, bring it down to something where somebody can understand. And if they just say, hey, this all sounds great, I get what you're saying, but I don't want to do all this, they can call me and I'll do it for them.
So, folks, and this is one of the reasons why I love Billy so much is because like you said, he's an entrepreneur first. He's not just an insurance salesman,
Right.
and you got to know the difference because the insurance salesman is somebody that's out there who's doing the 9 to 5 grind. They're trying to make as much money as they possibly can, and helping people is kind of secondary, right? Billy's an entrepreneur. Billy's all about helping people. He just happens to be really good at it in the insurance industry. And because he's an entrepreneur, if you're watching or listening to this show, then you understand what I mean, because entrepreneurs do things differently. And when you could have somebody like Billy, who is an entrepreneur first, insurance person second, that is a beautiful, beautiful mix, because from that space, people get helped in the way they need to get helped without being oversold. And I know that's one of the big issues in the insurance industry is like they'll sell you on the extra $1,000 worth of principal or, whatever it is that you need, but you don't need. But if you don't know what questions to ask, you don't know exactly what coverage you need. The beautiful thing is you're going to find out now in Billy's book. Billy, where can people go find out information about your book?
Well, my website is buyingcommercialinsurance.com, and that's to match the book title. You can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook and let me know as well, but online is probably the best place.
Fantastic. So LinkedIn, Billy Bray. Billy, I want to get into this a little bit more once we get back from the break. Again, where else? LinkedIn, and what's the name of the website again?
Buyingcommercialinsurance.com.
Folks, go check it out. Go get his book. And when we get back, we're going to dive into a little bit more of the ugly side of the insurance and shed light on what you can be doing different and how Billy does things different. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you an entrepreneur who speaks at conferences? Have you attended a conference and seen someone on stage you know is guilty of bad business practices? If you want to stand out from the crowd and give your prospective clients peace of mind, then make sure your business is in the Clear Directory. All of our members operate in transparency and are screened annually for frauds and scams. Stand out from the crowd and get in the Clear Directory. Visit clearbusinessdirectory.com/join to sign up today.
Welcome back to Incorporating Superpowers. I'm your host, Justin Recla, and this is Billy Bray. He is an entrepreneur who is just changing the way things get done in the insurance world, more in particular, the commercial insurance world. Billy is just absolutely phenomenal. Before the break, we were talking about his book, Buying Commercial Insurance, the playbook to save money and minimize risk. If you haven't gotten it, go get it. There'll be links down below. Go check it out on his website as well. Billy, before the break, we were talking about the fact that your book calls out the elephant in the room. What are some of the things that just people should be on the lookout for in the commercial insurance industry that they may not be fully aware of is even an issue, or even that they may not even have a choice in? What are some of the things that you see that they're just most people aren't educated about?
So here's the thing. There's actually a lot, but I can give you some low-hanging fruit.
Please, yeah. Let's keep it simple, because I know you can talk about this stuff for days. But what are some of the big things that you're seeing?
So there's two things that jump out right off the bat to me. The first thing is, if you don't know what your fees are on your policy, I would recommend that you call your broker today and ask them. Say, hey, can you send me a copy of my insurance policy, A, if you don't have one, and then B, look at it and see what fees that are on there. Insurance folks are paid with commission, and the carriers pay us. That's the way it's supposed to work. If there's an additional fee on there, I would really challenge the reason as to why. Low-hanging fruit. The second thing, if you're financing your premiums over the course of the year, some ways you can structure that so there's no financing charge, but on some policies, there has to be a financing charge. I would also challenge you to call your broker and say, hey, what is my interest rate and what are my terms? If the interest rate seems high to you, it probably is. And these things are going to fluctuate and depending on what year it is and everything like that. If it seems high, it probably is, because there's margin baked into that. And so one of the first two things I look for is the premium finance charge and also the fees that are right on top. So there's two quick tips. They're in my book, but you could do that today and potentially save you some money.
That's huge. It's so funny because a lot of people don't realize this, but I actually got started before I joined the military in the insurance world.
Okay.
With one of those big conglomerates selling insurance. So I get to see firsthand
Right.
the backside and dark side of insurance. And there's a lot of money to be made, absolutely. But those people, I've realized, don't last long. They're not around long. But when you focus on the actually helping people, making sure you're not overpaying, and educating them on what they need and what they don't need, your pipeline stays full as an agent, I'm sure.
It's exactly right. And so the way to make money in the insurance industry is to find a way to be sustainable. The only way you can sustain your client relationships and a good reputation is to be upstanding, above board, honest, and do the right thing. I don't care how much insurance my clients purchase from me. I say that I care, but I don't care, because I'm not there to sell policies. I'm there to be a consultant and really help them. So if they've got a claim, that maybe we can, let's get that thing paid quickly and efficiently and get you back up to speed on your operations. Business owners, high-level CFOs, controllers, the people that are buying the insurance, they don't want to mess with the insurance purchasing or the renewal or the risk management perspective. That's what you have folks like me for, where we can come in and say, hey, here's your risk profile. Here's the insurance you do have. Here's how much it costs to purchase the insurance that you don't have. What do you want to do? Does it make sense to go ahead and let's not purchase that insurance? Let's raise some deductibles. How do we adjust this pricing so it makes sense? If you're getting started in business and you're brand new, you need the hyper cash flow if you can. And if you're looking to sell, maybe you just need a little bit more protection. And so we look at the life cycle of the business and the entrepreneur, and we help them understand what are their options, and things like cyber liability and employment practices are things that are coming up even more so today. And there's policies that you may not even heard of, but your business could be susceptible to. So I encourage folks to call their broker and find out the answers to these things. And, if you don't have somebody you can rely on, get with Justin or myself, and we can point you in the right direction, if not help you ourselves.
Yeah, this is one of those things that if you're in business and you don't have commercial insurance and you need it, you've been hesitating, I'll pick up the phone, give Billy a call, connect with him on LinkedIn. Because we're in the risk mitigation business ourselves. So this is how you leverage risk, because with the insurance, knowing you've got that peace of mind should something bad happen, depending on what industry you're in, that can be a make or break deal for you.
And then, Justin, a lot of times people have the insurance, they just have the wrong insurance. And so I reference in my book again, if buying a policy versus buying actual coverage are two different things. And so being the business owner and being the person that's running the operations of the business, you don't necessarily need to mess with this. This is why you have CPAs and attorneys and insurance folks and real estate brokers and people that can help you that know this market, that do it all day, every day. And we can look at it sometimes and in the matter of just a few minutes, say, hey, this is wrong. It was right 7 years ago when you bought the policy, but your broker's renewed it 6 times since. And today is it's a little bit of a different market. There's different things that are available. The market is in a different condition. Interest rates are in a different condition. And sometimes the actual policies change their wording year over year as well. So my job, if I've got a superpower, which I'm not going to self-proclaim that I do, but it's helping clients not get messed up on their insurance policies and going in and finding stuff for them and saying, hey, this was right a while ago, but today we need to fix this, and here's how we do that. And we're not looking at trying to sell a whole bunch more policies. We want to adjust the policy as it's, if you've got general liability now and something's come out of that, or the underwriter's taken part of that coverage away with an exclusion, and we can get them to put it back in, it might save your day if you have a claim.
Those were my favorite things that I did when I was an active agent, was being able to look at some of these policies and going, I'm going to save you $1,200. I'm going to save you $3,000, or, that thing that you're preparing for, we're going to actually add that coverage for you. One of my favorite things to do is just to help people in that space. And that's why I love the fact that you have the approach that you do, that you are an entrepreneur, that you've got superpowers because you understand insurance better than most people in the industry understand insurance. And I think that's because you see it from not only the broker perspective, but more importantly from that entrepreneur perspective, which is huge. Billy, again, where can people go find more information about you?
Well, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, just Billy Bray, and then buyingcommercialinsurance.com. You can subscribe or get a copy of an article or my book, or both. So buyingcommercialinsurance.com.
Fantastic, folks. Tell you, I know this is one of the last topics that people like to talk about is insurance, but I'm telling you, you got to bring it to the top. You got to make it one of the first things that you talk about. It is so important to mitigate your risk, and in a lot of cases, leveraging that risk along the way. Billy, I'm super excited for your book. I can't wait to get a copy of it. Thank you so much for being on the show, and we're going to have you back once the book has reached the peaks of its pinnacles, and when the second book comes out, whatever that looks like for you. Let's get you back on the show and talk about some great stuff.
That's right. Well, thanks again for having me on, and I really look forward to connecting with you and all of your listeners.
Awesome, brother. We'll hopefully see you at an upcoming CEO Space event, and we'll go from there. Until next time, make sure you're going out there and you're doing things smart. You're leveraging risk. You're not just taking risk, but you're leveraging your risk. Go get Billy's book. Go get yourself covered. Go get your business covered. Go out there and incorporate your own superpowers and have an impact on the world. We'll talk to you soon.